The Art of Capturing Attention by Julian Harper, published by Audiobooks Hub. Introduction. In today's fast-paced world, where we are constantly bombarded with information, getting someone's attention has become both a challenge and an art. Whether you're crafting a social media post, writing an email, recording a video, or creating a sales pitch, your ability to grab attention in the first few moments is crucial to the success of your message. That's where the power of a hook comes in. A hook is a strategically crafted opening that compels your audience to stop, pay attention, and engage. It's a sentence, phrase, or idea that pulls people in and piques their curiosity, prompting them to want to learn more. Whether it's the title of a blog post, the first line of a novel, or the opening of a YouTube video, a great hook sets the stage for everything that follows. But it's not just about capturing attention. It's about holding it long enough to guide your audience toward a desired action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up for a service, or simply continuing to read. In this book, we'll explore the art of crafting hooks that do more than just grab attention. They will hook your audience emotionally, intellectually, and psychologically. We'll dive deep into the principles behind effective hooks, how to tailor them to your specific audience, and how to turn that attention into action through powerful calls to action, CTAs. Whether you're a marketer, writer, entrepreneur, or simply someone looking to improve your communication skills, this guide will help you develop the strategies and techniques to create compelling hooks that stand out and drive results. Get ready to unlock the secrets behind attention-grabbing content and learn how to keep your audience engaged. From the very first word to the call to action, let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Power of First Words. There's something magical about the first words we hear. Whether the conversation, the story, or even an advertisement, the opening sentence can shape everything that follows. Think about it. How many times have you been drawn into a conversation, article, or book simply because of the way it began? There's an undeniable power in the ability to capture someone's attention with just a few carefully chosen words. It's not about having the perfect grammar or using big, fancy words. It's about knowing the exact moment when something clicks, when the words resonate with the listener or reader in a way that makes them want to keep going. This is the essence of hook words, phrases or expressions that pull people in immediately and keep them interested. The idea of a hook is not new. In fact, it's a concept that has been used for centuries, from the early days of storytelling around campfires to the modern techniques employed by marketers and influencers. A hook is any phrase that compels the audience to listen, read, or engage further. It's a gateway to a more profound connection. Think about the stories you've read or the conversations you've had. Can you recall the opening lines that grabbed you? For many, the first few words of a book, movie, or speech are the ones that stay with them the longest. They're the ones that create anticipation, that leave you thinking, what happens next? In some cases, these words are so powerful that they define the entire experience. Take a look at some of the world's most famous opening lines. For example, "Call me Ishmael" from Moby Dick by Herman Melville is an iconic sentence that instantly piques curiosity. Why is the character called Ishmael? What's the story behind it? Similarly, in modern times, movies like The Godfather begin with lines that immediately draw you in. "I believe in America." Simple yet effective. They make you lean in closer, wanting to know what follows. But here's the interesting part. These lines are not just memorable because of the words they use. They are memorable because they evoke emotions, curiosity, or intrigue. They create a sense of expectation. And this is what makes hook words so incredibly valuable. They are not just about being clever. They are about connecting with the audience in a way that makes them want more. The power of the first words is not just limited to famous works of literature or cinema. In fact, it applies to everyday conversations as well. Have you ever had someone start a conversation with an intriguing question or phrase that immediately got your attention? Maybe it was a casual comment, but it was delivered in a way that made you stop and listen. That's the power of the hook in action. It's the ability to shift your focus, to create interest in something that might otherwise seem mundane. In the world of advertising, hook words are crucial for grabbing the attention of potential customers. How many times have you been scrolling through your social media feed and stopped for a moment because of a headline or a phrase that caught your eye? That's a hook at work. The goal of the headline or opening sentence is to stop the endless scrolling, to make you pause and pay attention, even if it's just for a few seconds. So what makes a good hook? It's more than just being clever or using big words. It's about understanding human psychology and what compels people to take action. It's about knowing your audience, understand what they care about, and delivering a message that speaks to those needs or desires. A great hook speaks directly to the audience, creating an instant connection, whether that's through curiosity, emotion, or a sense of urgency. As we go through this book, we will explore different types of hook words and techniques. We'll look at how to craft a powerful hook for various contexts, from storytelling to marketing to everyday conversations. We'll analyze what makes certain phrases so compelling and how you can use these insights to captivate your audience, no matter the medium. In this first chapter, we've introduced the concept of hook words and why they are so important. But this is just the beginning. In the following chapters, we'll dive deeper into the nuances of crafting the perfect hook, looking at the psychology behind it, and offering practical examples you can apply to your own writing, speaking, and marketing efforts. To truly understand the art of hooking an audience, we need to explore the science behind it. We need to understand the cognitive processes that make certain words or phrases irresistible. After all, words are not just tools for communication. They are powerful instruments of influence, capable of shaping thoughts, emotions, and actions. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look at the psychology of attention, exploring why some words have the ability to capture our focus instantly, while others fall flat. We'll start to uncover the secrets behind the magic of the first words, revealing how you can harness this power in your own work. The journey of understanding hook words is only just beginning, and there's much more to discover. Chapter 2, The Psychology of Attention. Understanding why certain words or phrases grab our attention is key to mastering the art of hook words. Our brains are constantly processing a multitude of information, but not all of it makes it into our conscious awareness. The brain is designed to prioritize the most relevant or urgent stimuli, which is why some things stand out while others are ignored. This is where psychology plays a crucial role in how we craft our hooks. To begin, let's understand how attention works. Attention is a limited resource. There's only so much our brains can focus on at any given moment. This is why we often feel overwhelmed by the constant stream of information in our daily lives. Our brains have evolved to filter out unnecessary distractions and focus on what's important or what stands out. This is known as selective attention. Selective attention helps us navigate the world, allowing us to focus on specific tasks while tuning out irrelevant information. For example, if you're walking through a crowded street, you might not pay attention to the chatter of people around you, but the moment you hear someone shout your name, your attention will immediately shift toward that sound. The brain's ability to prioritize certain stimuli over others is what enables us to focus on what matters most in any given situation. When it comes to crafting hook words, we need to tap into this natural filtering process. A hook must be designed to stand out and capture attention right away, breaking to the noise of everyday life. This is why a well-crafted hook often contains an element of surprise, novelty, or urgency. These elements make the hook stand out in the crowd of information competing for attention. One of the key psychological principles that govern attention is the concept of novelty. The brain is wired to pay attention to new or unexpected stimuli. When something is different from what we've encountered before, it immediately grabs our attention. This is why we often find ourselves stopping to read headlines or phrases that are unusual or intriguing. They break our mental patterns, forcing us to engage with them. Take the example of a headline that reads, "What you don't know about sleep will shock you." The use of the word shock immediately creates curiosity. It suggests that there is something we don't know, something that could challenge our existing beliefs. This creates an immediate desire to learn more, to uncover the hidden information. Another principle of attention is the emotional trigger. Emotions play a huge role in what we pay attention to. We are naturally drawn to things that make us feel something, whether it's joy, fear, surprise, or even anger. Emotionally charged words or phrases tend to stand out more because they provoke a response in the brain. For example, a phrase like, "Your health is at risk." Find out why it taps into our fear of potential danger, triggering an emotional reaction that makes us want to know more. This is why emotional hooks are so powerful. They not only capture attention, but also create a sense of urgency or importance. The emotional response we experience when encountering such hooks drives us to take action, whether that means clicking a link, reading further, or making a decision. But emotional hooks alone aren't always enough. They must be paired with clarity. Our brains crave simplicity and clarity, especially when we are bombarded with information. When we encounter a complicated or vague hook, our attention tends to wander and we may not engage with it. On the other hand, a hook that is clear, direct, and easy to understand is more likely to capture and hold our attention. This is why hooks like "How to Lose 10 Pounds in 30 Days" work so well. The promise is clear, the benefit is immediate, and it's framed in a way that is easy for the brain to process. Furthermore, the principle of curiosity plays a crucial role in the psychology of attention. Humans are naturally curious creatures, and we are hardwired to seek out information that fills in gaps in our knowledge. When we encounter a hook that presents a mystery or leaves us wondering, what's the answer? Our curiosity takes over. This is why hooks like "The Secret to Success That No One Tells You" are so effective. They tease us with the promise of hidden knowledge, making us want to find out more. The principle of relevance is also key to crafting a successful hook. Relevance means that the hook must speak to the audience's interests, needs, or desires. If a hook doesn't resonate with the person reading or listening, it's unlikely to capture their attention. For example, a marketing message about luxury cars would likely fall flat if presented to an audience that is more interested in budget travel. The hook must be tailored to the audience's specific context and concerns. The final piece of the attention puzzle is timing. The brain is not only selective about what it focuses on, but also when it focuses on it. Attention is often tied to a sense of urgency. If something seems time-sensitive or immediate, we are more likely to pay attention. This is why phrases like "limited time offer" or "hurry" before it's gone are so effective. They create a sense of urgency that compels us to act quickly before the opportunity slips away. Now that we've explored some of the psychological principles behind attention, we can begin to understand how to craft effective hooks. By using novelty, emotional triggers, clarity, curiosity, relevance, and timing, we can create words that stop people in their tracks, make them lean in, and get them to engage with what we're saying. These elements are the building blocks of a powerful hook. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to apply these psychological principles in real-world scenarios. We'll look at examples from storytelling, marketing, and social media to understand how different types of hooks are used in various contexts. By the end of the next chapter, you'll have a clearer idea of how to start crafting your own attention-grabbing hooks for any situation. Chapter 3. Crafting hooks for different contexts. Now that we've explored the psychology behind attention and what makes certain words and phrases more engaging than others, it's time to see how we can apply these principles across different contexts. Whether you're telling a story, marketing a product, or having a casual conversation, the power of a well-placed hook remains the same. It's all about capturing attention, creating curiosity, and keeping the audience engaged. Storytelling hooks. In the world of storytelling, Whether it's a novel, a short story, or even a YouTube video, the opening words are crucial. They need to pull the reader or viewer in and make them want to keep going. But what makes a good storytelling hook? A great storytelling hook is often rooted in curiosity. It's a question that's left unanswered, the situation that feels unresolved. For example, the opening line of The Great Gatsby. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over my mind ever since. Immediately engages the reader. The phrase advice that I've been turning over my mind ever since suggests that something important is coming, but it doesn't give us the full story yet. We are left wondering, what was this advice? Why is it significant? This type of hook works because it taps into our natural curiosity. We want to know the backstory, the context, and the impact that this advice had on the narrator's life. It sets the stage for the entire novel and invites the reader to continue in search of answers. Similarly, in movies, the first few lines or scenes are often designed to provoke questions. The opening of Inception, where the character Cobb wakes up on a beach and is confronted by men who appear to be after him, immediately raises questions. Who is Cobb? Why are these men after him? What's happening? This opening is mysterious, confusing, and intriguing all at once, making the audience want to know more. Storytelling hooks are powerful because they create an immediate emotional investment. When done well, a hook makes the audience feel like they're entering the middle of something important, and it pushes them to continue, eager to discover the whole picture. Marketing hooks. In the marketing world, hooks are everywhere. Whether the catchy headline, a social media post, or an advertisement, the goal is always the same: to get someone to stop and take notice. But in a world saturated with information and distractions, how can you ensure your message gets through? Marketing hooks often rely on urgency, emotional appeal, and the promise of solution. Take, for example, the classic direct response ad that uses phrases like limited time offer or act now before it's too late. These types of hooks work because they create a sense of urgency. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a powerful motivator, and marketers know how to use it to their advantage. The promise of a time-sensitive offer pushes the audience to take immediate action, even if they hadn't originally planned to buy. Another common marketing hook is the promise of solving a problem. Think about headlines like "Lose 10 pounds in 7 days" or "Unlock the secret to effortless success." These types of hooks tap into people's desires and frustrations. We all want to solve problems quickly and easily, and these phrases offer a shortcut to achieving something we may have struggled with for a long time. The key to these hooks is specificity. By offering a clear, measurable result, you increase the chance of drawing the audience in. The beauty of marketing hooks is that they don't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler and more direct they are, the more effective they tend to be. A hook like "Your dream home is just a click away" speaks to a deep, universal desire. It's simple, clear, and promises a desirable outcome, which makes it compelling. Whether you're selling a product or a service, the goal is to get the audience to take that next step, whether it's making a purchase, signing up for more information, or clicking a link. Social media hooks. Social media operates at lightning speed, with the sheer volume of content being posted every second. Getting someone to stop and engage with your post requires a hook that's both attention-grabbing and relevant. The best social media hooks are often short, punchy, and to the point. Consider a viral tweet or Instagram caption. A simple phrase like "You won't believe what happened next" sparks curiosity. It's vague, but in the best way. It leaves the reader wanting to know more, and they're likely to click the link to find out what's next. This type of hook is effective because it leverages curiosity and the fear of missing out on something important. Another popular social media hook is the use of provocative or controversial statements. Phrases like "Why everything you've been told about success is wrong," or "The secret no one wants you to know" play on the desire to be in the know, to have access to information that isn't widely shared. These hooks often challenge conventional wisdom, forcing the audience to reconsider what they know. This type of hook can spark discussion, debate, and engagement, which is exactly what you want on platforms like Twitter or Instagram. Visual hooks are also incredibly important on social media. A powerful image or video can serve as a hook in and of itself. A striking visual, combined with thought-provoking caption, can stop a user from scrolling and make them pause to see what the content is about. The hook here is not just the words, but the combination of visuals and language that capture the audience's attention. Casual conversations. Not all hooks have to be flashy or dramatic. In fact, some of the most effective hooks are the ones that make someone pause and think, even in casual conversations. For instance, when someone starts a conversation with "I've been thinking about something lately," or "Have you ever wondered why?" it immediately piques curiosity. These types of hooks invite the other person to engage in a deeper conversation and offer a sense of intrigue, even in the most everyday interactions. Hooks in conversations can also be emotional. A person might say, "I'm not sure I can do this anymore," which immediately invites empathy and concern from the listener. This kind of hook doesn't necessarily have to be about dramatic or intense emotions. Even a statement that invites vulnerability can be an effective way to engage someone in a meaningful conversation. In casual conversations, hooks are often about connection and context. When you know the person you're speaking with, you can tailor your hook to their interests or current experiences. This personalized approach makes the hook more compelling because it feels relevant to the listener's world. Conclusion: the art of crafting hooks isn't about using flashy language or complicated phrasing. It's about understanding your audience, their desires, and what will capture their attention. Whether you're telling a story, marketing a product, posting on social media, or having conversation, the right hook can make all the difference in engaging your audience and keeping them interested. In the next chapter, we'll delve deeper into specific techniques for crafting hooks that resonate. We'll explore how to make sure your hooks are tailored to your audience and how to use them effectively across different mediums. By the end of this book, you'll have a toolbox full of strategies that will help you create hooks that demand attention and leave a lasting impact. Chapter 4: Tailoring Hooks to Your Audience. In the previous chapters, we discussed the psychology behind why certain words or phrases capture attention, and how those principles can be applied in storytelling, marketing, and casual conversations. But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle we need to explore: the importance of tailoring your hooks to your specific audience. No two audiences are the same. Whether you're speaking to readers, customers, social media followers, or friends, each group has its own set of needs, interests, and desires. A hook that works for one person may not resonate with another. To truly master the art of hooking your audience, you must understand who they are, what motivates them, and how to craft messages that speak directly to their unique preferences and perspectives. Understanding your audience's needs and desires. The first step in crafting a tailored hook is understanding what your audience cares about. This is where deep audience research comes into play. Whether you're writing a book, creating an advertisement, or having a conversation, knowing your audience's pain points, desires, and values will allow you to speak directly to their needs. Start by asking yourself, what does my audience want? What keeps them up at night? What are they striving for? These questions are important because hooks that address your audience's deepest concerns are more likely to grab their attention. For example, let's say you're marketing a fitness program aimed at middle-aged people who want to get healthier. A generic hook like "Get Fit Now" might not resonate as well as one that speaks directly to their specific needs. Feel 10 years younger in 30 days. The second hook speaks directly to the audience's desire for vitality and energy, using an emotional trigger, "Feel younger," that is likely to resonate more deeply. Similarly, if you're writing a blog post for entrepreneurs, a hook like How to double your income in 6 months speaks to a fundamental desire in that audience: financial success. It taps into their ambitions and their drive to achieve more. Understanding the core aspirations of your audience helps you tailor your language, your approach, and your message to better connect with them. The role of empathy in hook creation. Empathy is at the heart of crafting tailored hooks. It's about putting yourself in the shoes of your audience and seeing the world through their eyes. When you can understand their struggles, their frustrations, and their desires, you can craft hooks that speak to them on a deeper level. Empathy helps you understand not just what people want, but also how they feel. For example, consider the difference between two hooks targeting someone who is struggling with anxiety. Overcome your anxiety in just a week. Feel calm and in control. Start your journey today. The first hook may seem too aggressive or unrealistic to someone struggling with anxiety. It promises an immediate solution, which may be perceived as impossible or overwhelming. The second hook, however, is more empathetic. It acknowledges the journey, start your journey today, and focuses on feelings of calm and control, which is more in line with what someone with anxiety may be seeking. This approach feels more attainable and less pressure-filled. By practicing empathy, you can better understand the emotional state of your audience and craft hooks that address their emotions with sensitivity and care. The goal is not just to grab attention, but to build a connection with your audience that feels authentic and genuine. Adapting hooks to different platforms and media. Another key consideration when tailoring your hooks is the medium through which you're communicating. A hook that works well in a long-form article might not work as effectively on Twitter, where space and time are limited. Similarly, a hook that works in a video might need to be adjusted for an email subject line or a billboard ad. When crafting hooks for different platforms, think about the characteristics of the medium. Social media. On platforms like Twitter or Instagram, brevity is key. You need a hook that's short, sharp, and attention-grabbing. You don't have the luxury of long explanations, so your hook must make an immediate impact. For example, a tweet about a new book might read, "What if everything you knew about success was wrong? Find out in my new book." It's punchy, thought-provoking, and leaves the audience wanting more. Email. The subject line of an email is one of the most crucial hooks you can create. People receive dozens, if not hundreds, of emails every day, so yours needs to stand out. A hook like, "You won't believe what we're giving away today," creates curiosity and compels the recipient to open the email. Another effective strategy for email hooks is to create a sense of exclusivity, like your VIP access to our biggest sale yet. Exclusivity makes people feel special and motivates them to click. Websites. When you're writing a website headline, you have a bit more room to play with, but it's still important to be clear and direct. A hook on a website's landing page should immediately convey the benefit of what's being offered. For instance, a hook for a productivity app might read, "Unlock your full potential. Achieve more every day with our simple tool." It focuses on a user's desire to be more productive, and the benefit is clear and immediate. Video hooks, especially for platforms like YouTube, need to grab attention within the first few seconds. Viewers can easily scroll past or click away if they're not immediately hooked. A great hook for a YouTube video could be, "Here's the one trick that will make you 10 times more productive. You won't believe it." It uses curiosity to get the viewer to stay and watch the video to learn the trick. Tailoring hooks based on demographics and interests. A crucial part of tailoring your hooks is considering the demographics and interests of your audience. Age, gender, location, income, education level, and cultural background all influence what kind of language and messaging will resonate best. For example, a product targeted at teenagers might use a more casual, upbeat tone. Get the latest kicks. Shop the hottest new sneakers now. On the other hand, a product for professionals might use a more polished and sophisticated hook. elevate your style with our premium collection of office wear. The language and tone are adjusted to reflect the target audience's lifestyle and expectations. In addition to demographics, you should also consider your audience's specific interests. If you're writing a blog for food enthusiasts, a hook like "Discover the secret ingredient that will transform your cooking" is tailored to an audience passionate about cooking and experimentation in the kitchen. By tapping into their interest in discovering new ingredients, you increase the likelihood of drawing them in. Testing and refining your hooks. One of the most important aspects of tailoring hooks to your audience is testing. Not every hook will work perfectly right away, and that's okay. The process of crafting effective hooks is iterative. It requires trial and error, feedback, and adjustment. If you're using hooks in a marketing campaign, you can test different variations to see which one performs best. This could mean testing different email subject lines, social media captions, or even video thumbnails. A/B testing is a common technique in marketing, where you create two versions of message, version A and version B, and test them with different segments of your audience to see which one performs better. This process allows you to refine your hooks and improve their effectiveness over time. Conclusion: tailoring your hooks to your audience is an essential skill in crafting effective communication. By understanding your audience's desires, emotions, and context, you can create hooks that speak directly to them and grab their attention. Whether you're telling a story, running a marketing campaign, or simply engaging in conversation, the ability to create a hook that resonates with your audience will make all the difference. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the mechanics of creating hooks for different types of content. We'll explore how to craft hooks that align with your message, your medium, and your audience's expectations, ensuring that every hook you create has maximum impact. Chapter 5: The Mechanics of Crafting Effective Hooks. We've established that the power of a hook lies in its ability to capture attention, ignite curiosity, and resonate with an audience's needs, emotions, and desires. But what makes a hook truly effective? In this chapter, we'll break down the specific mechanics of crafting hooks that not only grab attention, but also keep your audience engaged from the start to the end. Effective hooks are built on a combination of several key elements: clarity, specificity, emotional resonance, and a strong promise. These elements work together to create a sense of urgency or importance, while also making the message easy to understand and remember. Let's explore each of these components in detail. Clarity, simple and direct. The first rule of creating a great hook is clarity. A hook that is confusing or vague will only leave your audience frustrated and disengaged. The key is to make your message as clear as possible, ensuring that your audience knows exactly what to expect and why it matters to them. For example, consider the difference between these two potential hooks for a health program. Unlock your true potential with our program. Lose 5 pounds in 7 days with our proven system. While both hooks are effective, the second one is clearer. It clearly outlines the result: lose 5 pounds, and gives a specific time frame: in 7 days. The first hook, while positive, is more abstract and less immediately actionable. It uses broader language that may not speak to the audience's immediate needs. Clarity is not just about choosing simple words, but about making your message as direct and unambiguous as possible. When crafting a hook, ask yourself, what exactly do I want my audience to understand in this first sentence? If the answer isn't clear, refine the hook until it is. Specificity, the power of a defined promise. While clarity is about making sure your message is easily understood, specificity is about providing exact details. A hook that lacks specifics might grab attention, but may not keep it. Specificity adds credibility and substance to your hook. For example, compare these two hooks for an online course. Learn to speak Spanish fast. Speak Spanish in 30 days with our structured course. The second hook is specific. It not only tells you that you will learn to speak Spanish, but also gives you a clear time frame, 30 days. This makes the promise more concrete and believable. The first hook, though exciting, lacks that same level of detail. By including the specifics of what you will achieve and how long it will take, you increase the hook's effectiveness. Specificity doesn't always have to be about time frames. It can also involve defining the problem you are solving or the benefits you're offering. In marketing, for example, specificity can be reflected in a hook like "get clearer skin in just 14 days" or "boost your energy in 3 days with our simple method." This kind of specificity works because it provides a clear and attainable outcome. Emotional resonance, stirring the heart. An effective hook taps into emotions. People don't just make decisions based on logic. Emotions play a huge role in how we respond to messages. Whether it's joy, fear, surprise, or anger, emotions drive action. That's why an emotional hook is so powerful. Think about an ad for a new car. You could go with something factual. Our car gets 30 miles per gallon. Or you could focus on the emotional aspect. Feel the freedom of the open road with our car. The second hook is much more emotionally resonant. It speaks to the feeling of adventure, freedom, and possibility that many people associate with driving. Even if you're selling something that doesn't seem inherently emotional, like a cleaning product, you can still appeal to emotions. Consider these two hooks for a household cleaner. Get your home sparkling clean. Feel the satisfaction of a spotless home with our cleaner. The second hook appeals to the satisfaction and peace of mind that comes with a clean home. It evokes a sense of pride and accomplishment that a clean environment brings. By appealing to emotions, you create a connection with your audience that makes your message more compelling. The promise. What's in it for them? A good hook always includes a promise. You're offering something, whether it's a solution to a problem, a feeling of satisfaction, or a new perspective. But the promise needs to be tangible, relevant, and valuable to the audience. For example, a hook for a time management course might say, "Stop wasting time. Learn how to maximize every minute." This hook makes a clear promise. You'll stop wasting time and start using it more effectively. It speaks to the frustration of feeling unproductive and offers a solution, the promise of a specific desirable outcome. In this case, increased productivity, is what makes the hook so appealing. Promises don't always have to be about grand transformations, but they should always be relevant to the audience's needs. Whether you're promising more success, better health, financial freedom, or peace of mind, the promise you make should align with the things your audience values most. The call to action, directing the audience. While a hook is about grabbing attention, it's also about guiding the audience toward action. Once you've captured their interest, the next step is to direct them toward what you want them to do next. In some cases, the call to action is inherent in the hook itself. For example, a hook for a free trial offer might say, "Start your free trial today and see results in just 1 week." Here, the hook not only grabs attention, but also clearly directs the audience to take action. Start the trial today. A good hook always makes it clear what the audience should do next, whether it's clicking a link, signing up, or reading more. In storytelling or casual conversations, your call to action may be more subtle. For instance, if you're telling someone about an exciting event or opportunity, you might end your hook with, "You should check it out." This directs them toward further action without being overly pushy. The element of surprise, breaking expectations. A great hook often involves an element of surprise. Our brains are wired to react to things that defy our expectations. A hook that catches the audience off guard can be especially effective because it prompts them to think, "I need to know more." Consider the hook from an advertisement that says, "This is the most unexpected solution to your financial problems." Immediately, the audience is intrigued. What could be so unexpected? Why is it a solution? This kind of hook breaks through the noise because it promises something out of the ordinary. The element of surprise doesn't have to be dramatic. It could simply be a twist in the way the message is framed or phrased that challenges conventional wisdom. The key is to keep your audience guessing and eager to learn more. Conclusion. In this chapter, we explore the mechanics of crafting hooks that truly captivate an audience. The key element of clarity, specificity, emotional resonance, promise, and surprise all work together to create a hook that grabs attention and compels the audience to take action. By understanding these mechanics and applying them to your own hooks, you'll be able to craft messages that not only capture attention, but also maintain engagement. In the next chapter, we will look at how to refine and perfect your hooks through the process of testing and feedback. Crafting the perfect hook is a continual process of learning, adapting, and improving. By honing your hook writing skills, you'll be able to create messages that consistently captivate and influence your audience, no matter the medium or context. Chapter 6. Testing and refining your hooks. Now that we've covered the core elements of crafting effective hooks, clarity, specificity, emotional resonance, promise, and surprise, it's time to delve into the next crucial aspect of creating truly compelling hooks: testing and refining. Even the best crafted hooks can sometimes fall flat. Testing allows you to determine which hooks actually resonate with your audience and which ones don't. Refining your hooks based on this feedback is key to consistently improving your ability to capture attention. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of testing your hooks, how to analyze feedback, and how to continuously refine your messaging for greater impact. The importance of testing. Why is testing so important? It's simple. Even if you followed all the best practices and applied the psychological principles behind great hooks, you still won't know for sure how your audience will respond until you test it. What works for one group of people might not work for another, and what works today may not work tomorrow. Think about it. Advertising campaigns are constantly being tested and optimized. Successful brands don't just create a catchy slogan and stop there. They test different variations of their hooks to see which one performs the best. Similarly, marketers often use A/B testing to compare two different hooks and determine which one generates more clicks, signups, or sales. Testing your hooks provides valuable insights into your audience's preferences and behavior. It allows you to find the language, tone, and messaging that truly resonates. Without testing, you're essentially guessing. A/B testing, the art of comparison. A/B testing, also known as split testing, is one of the most effective ways to refine your hooks. The concept is simple. You create two variations of a hook, version A and version B, and you test them with different segments of your audience to see which one performs better. For example, if you're running an email campaign for a product, you could create two subject lines. Version A, get 50% off today only, don't miss out. Version B, hurry, this deal ends soon, shop now. By sending each version to different segments of your email list, you can see which subject line generates more opens and engagement. This allows you to compare how slight changes in wording, urgency, or tone can impact your audience's response. The key to A/B testing is to test only one variable at a time. If you change too many elements, such as the wording, timing, and call to action, in a single test, it will be difficult to pinpoint which change made the difference in performance. For example, you wouldn't want to test a completely different email design and subject line in the same A/B test. Instead, you would isolate one factor, such as a subject line, and test variations of that. Once you have your results, you can make data-driven decisions about which hook resonates best with your audience. This process helps you refine your messaging over time, ensuring that your hooks are optimized for maximum impact. Gathering feedback, the value of audience insights. Testing isn't limited to structured A/B tests. Gathering qualitative feedback from your audience can also be incredibly valuable, in refining your hooks. Whether it's through surveys, focus groups, or direct interactions with customers, feedback can help you better understand how your hooks are perceived. For example, after a marketing campaign, you could ask your audience questions like, what made you click on a link? What did you think of the offer? Did the message resonate with your needs or interests? Was there something about the message that you didn't like? By analyzing responses to these types of questions, you can identify patterns and learn what works and what doesn't. Sometimes a hook that seems perfect on paper might not land well with your audience because of nuances you hadn't considered. Maybe a phrase feels too sleazy, or maybe the emotional appeal isn't strong enough. You can also test the language of your hook in social media comments or through user interactions. For instance, if you're running an ad on Facebook and you receive comments like, I don't know if I believe this will work, or this sounds too good to be true, that could be a signal that your promise isn't being communicated effectively or that it feels too exaggerated. Continuous refinement, evolving with your audience. One of the most important aspects of creating hooks is understanding that testing and refining is an ongoing process. Audience preferences, societal trends, and cultural shifts are constantly evolving. A hook that works today may not be as effective 6 months from now, so it's important to continuously refine your messaging to stay relevant. For example, think about how marketing hooks have evolved over time. A few decades ago, advertising messages were often straightforward and factual. This soap will make your clothes whiter. Today, the messaging is more emotional and aspirational. Get the confidence you deserve with clothes that sparkle. As audiences become more sophisticated and discerning, it's essential to stay in tune with their changing preferences. What worked well in the past may no longer resonate with today's audience. The key is to test new hooks, gather feedback, and make adjustments accordingly. To keep your hooks fresh and impactful, it's also important to stay informed about current trends, language shifts, and emerging interests. For instance, if you're creating hooks for a younger demographic, you may need to incorporate slang, memes, or cultural references that are specific to that group. On the other hand, if you're targeting a more professional audience, your hooks may need to be more polished and formal. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, but refining your hooks to stay in sync with your audience's evolving interests will ensure that your messages remain effective and compelling. The role of analytics in refining hooks. In the digital age, data is king. One of the biggest advantages of testing and refining your hooks is the ability to measure performance using analytics. Whether you're tracking performance of email campaigns, social media posts, or website copy, analytics tools can provide invaluable insights into how your hooks are performing. For instance, tools like Google Analytics or email marketing platforms like MailChimp offer detailed metrics about engagement. Metrics such as click-through rates, CTR, open rates, bounce rates, and conversion rates can help you understand how effective your hooks are. By analyzing these metrics, you can determine which hooks are driving the most engagement and which ones need improvement. Beyond basic metrics, some analytics platforms allow you to segment your audience and analyze performance based on demographics, location, and behavior. This helps you refine your hooks for specific audience segments, ensuring that you're targeting the right people with the right message. Conclusion: testing and refining your hooks is an essential part of the process of crafting effective, attention-grabbing messages. Through AAIB testing, gathering qualitative feedback, and continuously staying in tune with your audience's changing needs, you can continually improve the power of your hooks. The goal is not just to grab attention, but to engage your audience and drive meaningful actions. By analyzing data and making iterative adjustments, you can create hooks that consistently resonate with your audience, allowing you to build stronger connections and achieve greater impact. In the next chapter, we will focus on how to apply everything we've learned about hooks to different types of content, from blog posts to presentations to social media content. We'll explore real-world examples and offer practical strategies for writing hooks that work in various formats. Whether you're crafting content for a website, a newsletter, or an advertisement, you'll have the tools to create hooks that captivate and convert. Chapter 7. Applying hooks across different types of content. Now that we've explored the psychology, structure, and testing methods behind crafting powerful hooks, it's time to look at how to apply these concepts to different types of content. Whether you're writing a blog post, crafting a social media update, developing a video script, or even giving a presentation, the ability to create a compelling hook will be your key to success. Each content type has its unique demands and constraints, but the principles behind great hooks remain the same. Let's break down how to apply them to a variety of mediums. Blog posts and articles. Capturing attention early. When writing a blog post or article, you have a few moments to hook your reader before they click away or scroll past. The opening lines are crucial in this case because they set the tone for the rest of the piece. The goal here is to spark curiosity, give them a reason to read further, and promise them value by the end. Here are a few effective approaches for blog post hooks. The question hook. Asking an intriguing or thought-provoking question is one of the most effective ways to capture attention. Questions make readers stop and think, prompting them to continue reading in search of an answer. For example, in a blog about time management, you can start with, what if you could add 2 extra hours to your day? Without working harder, would you take that opportunity? The promise of solution. Readers often turn to blogs when they're seeking answers to their problems. Offering a solution to a specific problem within the first few lines is a powerful way to engage them. For instance, in an article about productivity, you could write, if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, this simple trick will change how you manage your time. The shocking statement. A hook that's surprising or challenges conventional wisdom can spark interest. For example, most people think multitasking is a sign of productivity. In reality, it's making you less efficient. This immediately prompts curiosity to learn more and understand why this claim is being made. In blog posts, the hook is important because it helps establish relevance and urgency. As you go through the post, ensure that you continue delivering on the promise made by the hook. The content should be informative, easy to follow, and help the reader feel that they've gained something valuable by the end. Social media posts. Quick, engaging, and shareable. Social media posts, particularly on platforms like Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, require hooks that are short, snappy, and to the point. You're competing with a constant stream of content, so your post needs to grab attention within seconds. Social media hooks work best when they are direct and to the point. Since attention spans are shorter on social media, the hook needs to be brief yet impactful. A hook like, this one decision will change the way you approach your work forever is concise, but intriguing enough to make someone stop scrolling and read more. Emotionally engaging. Whether it's humor, excitement, or controversy, emotionally charged posts tend to generate more engagement. For instance, a tweet like, how do you feel when someone tells you can't do that? Here's how to use that as fuel. Invites people to respond and reflect. Curiosity-driven. Social media thrives on curiosity. Phrases like, you won't believe what happened next, or the secret to success, they don't want you to know, generate a sense of mystery that compels the audience to engage and find out more. Incorporating visuals. A great social media hook isn't just about the words. Visuals are equally important. Using a striking image or video can serve as a hook itself, especially when combined with a compelling caption. For example, a before and after image of a product effect, paired with a caption like, see the results for yourself, makes users stop and engage with the post. The key to social media hooks is brevity and emotional appeal. You need to create an immediate connection in just a few words or images, which then entices the audience to like, share, or comment. Video scripts. Grabbing attention from a first frame, For videos, particularly YouTube or other online platforms, the hook is everything. Video viewers often decide within the first few seconds whether they'll continue watching or move on to something else. Here, a good hook has to not only engage but also immediately create a sense of urgency, intrigue, or relevance. Consider these video hook strategies. The bold promise. Start with a bold statement that promises value. I'm about to share a technique that will help you double your productivity in 1 week. This statement intrigues viewers by offering a specific, desirable outcome right from the beginning. The question hook, just like blog posts, asking a compelling question works in video as well. Have you ever wondered why you keep procrastinating even though you know it's hurting you? This question makes a viewer reflect on their own habits and compels them to keep watching to find out why this is happening and how to fix it. The teaser. A video teaser works well by giving the audience a small glimpse of what's to come. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to reveal the biggest mistake people make when trying to lose weight. Here, you're teasing valuable content and offering a reason to stay tuned. The emotional hook. If the video has an emotional angle, start with a compelling personal story or a dramatic statement. 2 years ago, I was homeless. Now I'm living my dream life. Here's how I did it. This kind of hook immediately builds emotional connection and curiosity. The key to video hooks is to capture the audience's attention immediately. Your first few seconds should be impactful, setting the stage for the value or entertainment that follows. Email marketing. Engaging from the first line. When it comes to email, your subject line acts as the hook. You have only a few characters to make an impact before the recipient decides to open or ignore the email. To craft an email hook that gets attention. Create urgency. People respond well to urgency, especially in promotional emails. Last chance to claim your discount, or only 3 spots left for this exclusive offer creates a sense of scarcity, which pushes readers to act quickly. Offer immediate value. Let the reader know exactly what benefit they'll get by opening the email. For example, 5 proven ways to boost your energy. Get started today. This tells the recipient that they'll learn something valuable by opening the email. Personalization. Personalized subject lines work wonders, including the recipient's name or mentioning a recent interaction can increase open rates. For example, "Hey name, here's a special offer just for you," can help your email stand out in an overcrowded inbox. The key to email hooks is making the subject line so irresistible that the recipient can't help but open the email. This is where brevity, clarity, and value intersect. Presentations. Engage in the audience from the start. For presentations, especially public speaking, the hook must grab the audience's attention right away. The first moments of a presentation are your opportunity to establish connection and excitement, so you need to make a strong opening. Some strategies for presentation hooks include the startling fact. Opening with surprising or little-known fact can immediately captivate your audience. For example, did you know that 60% of people fail to follow through on their New Year's resolutions within the first month? Let's change that today. The personal story. Sharing a personal experience or anecdote that relates to your topic can create an emotional connection with your audience. 5 years ago, I was in a job I hated. Here's how I turned my career around. Personal stories humanize the speaker and make the audience more invested in what you have to say. The powerful question. Asking a question that challenges the audience to think can be a great way to engage them. What would you do if you had the ability to solve any problem in the world? This forces the audience to consider possibilities and get involved in the discussion. The hook in a presentation needs to make an immediate impact. Set the tone for the rest of the talk and get the audience eager to listen and learn. Conclusion. Crafting effective hooks is not just about creating attention-grabbing phrases. It's about applying these principles to fit the specific type of content you're producing. Whether you're writing a blog post, creating social media content, scripting a video, sending an email, or delivering a presentation, the way you hook your audience plays a critical role in whether they'll continue engaging with you or move on to something else. In the next chapter, we'll take a look at some common mistakes people make when crafting hooks and how to avoid them. Understanding what can go wrong with your hooks will help you refine your approach and ensure that you're always capturing your audience's attention effectively. Chapter 8. Common mistakes to avoid when crafting hooks. In the pursuit of creating compelling hooks, it's easy to fall into common traps that can undermine your efforts. A well-crafted hook has the power to capture attention, spark curiosity, and motivate action, but poorly executed hook can quickly turn your audience off. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the most common mistakes people make when crafting hooks and how to avoid them to ensure your messages are as effective as possible. Being too vague or ambiguous. One of the most frequent mistakes in creating hooks is being too vague or unclear. If your hook doesn't clearly communicate the benefit or value of what you're offering, you risk losing your audience before they even give you a chance. For example, a vague hook might say, "Unlock the secrets to success." While the phrase sounds intriguing, it's not specific enough. Success is a broad term, and people need to understand how your message will specifically help them achieve that success. A more effective version might be, "How to master time management for career success in 30 days." It's clearer, more actionable, and tells the audience exactly what they'll gain. Avoiding the mistake. Always make sure your hook delivers a clear and tangible promise. The more specific and direct your message is, the better your hook will resonate with your audience. Overloading the hook with information. While it's important for your hook to be clear, it's also important not to overwhelm your audience with too much information at once. A hook should spark curiosity, but it should not provide the entire story up front. If your hook is too long or complex, you risk losing the interest of your audience, who may feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of detail. For example, consider the following hook. Learn how to effectively plan your week, optimize your productivity, improve your time management skills, and still have time for personal goals and self-care, all by using our proven system in just 7 days. While all these points may be valuable, this hook is overloaded. It's too much information for a first impression. It feels cluttered and lacks focus. Avoiding the mistake. Focus on one key benefit or point in your hook. Keep it simple and concise. Once you have their attention, you can elaborate on the details and the body of the content. Your hook should create just enough intrigue to make them want to know more, but not so much that they feel overwhelmed. Being too generic or cliche. Another mistake is using overused phrases or cliches that have lost their impact due to repetition. Phrases like "get rich quick," "live your best life," and "the secret to happiness" have been heard so many times that they no longer evoke strong emotions or curiosity. While these types of hooks may have worked in the past, they don't stand out in today's crowded digital landscape. For example, a hook that says, "Achieve your goals faster with this simple trick," sounds generic and uninspiring. It doesn't tell the audience why the trick is unique or worth their time. Avoiding the mistake. Instead of relying on common phrases, strive for originality. Ask yourself, what makes this message different? Try to come up with a hook that reflects your unique offering, perspective, or insight. For example, "The goal-setting strategy no one's talking about" offers a new perspective and promises something unique. This piques curiosity without relying on tired, worn-out phrases, overhyping or making unrealistic promises. While it's tempting to promise bold results to grab attention, making unrealistic promises can do more harm than good. When you overpromise and underdeliver, you not only lose the trust of your audience, but you also risk damaging your credibility in the long run. For instance, lose 30 pounds in 5 days with no effort might grab attention, but it's also a promise that most people know is too good to be true. When readers or viewers realize that your message isn't aligned with reality, they may feel deceived and turn away, avoiding the mistake. While it's important to be bold and confident in your hooks, make sure your promises are realistic and attainable. If you're offering a solution, ensure that it's something that can be backed up by actual results or experiences. A hook like, "How to lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks without starving yourself," is both specific and attainable, providing a clear, achievable promise. Focusing too much on the product, not the audience. Many people make the mistake of focusing their hook on what they're selling or promoting, instead of on the needs and desires of their audience. If your hook is all about your product, service, or offering, it can feel self-serving and detached from what your audience cares about. For example, a hook like, "Check out our amazing new product," focuses too much on the product itself and doesn't address how it benefits the reader or viewer. While you may be excited about your offering, your audience is more interested in how it will solve their problems or improve their lives. Avoiding the mistake. Shift the focus of your hook from the product to the audience. Address their pain points, desires, or questions. For example, tired of sleepless nights? Try our natural sleep solution and wake up refreshed. This hook immediately speaks to the audience's need for better sleep and presents the product as the solution, using overcomplicated language. Another mistake is using overly complicated or technical language that can alienate or confuse your audience. Jargon, long-winded sentences, or words that require a dictionary to understand will not only frustrate your audience, but they may also make them feel disconnected from your message. A hook should be straightforward and easy to grasp within a few seconds. For example, a hook like, "Unleash the full potential of your latent cerebral faculties with our advanced neuroenhancement technology" may sound impressive, but it's overly complicated for most people and doesn't clearly communicate the benefit. Avoiding the mistake. Keep your language simple and accessible. Your goal is to engage, not to confuse. Stick to words and phrases that are easy to understand, and be direct with your message. A simpler, more effective version could be, "Boost your brain power with our proven memory enhancing system." Not matching the tone of the content. A hook is the first step in setting the tone for your content, and it's important to match that tone throughout the entire message. If your hook is casual and playful, but the rest of the content is formal and professional, your audience may feel disoriented and disconnected. For example, a humorous hook like, "I know you've been scrolling for hours, but this will make it worth your while," might work well for a lighthearted blog post or social media update. However, it would feel out of place in a serious, professional article on business strategies or finance. Avoiding the mistake. Ensure that the tone of your hook aligns with the overall tone of your content. If you're offering advice or information, keep the tone consistent and professional. If you're sharing a personal story or entertaining the audience, a more casual or humorous tone is appropriate. This consistency helps build trust with your audience and keeps them engaged. Conclusion: crafting effective hooks isn't just about following the right formula. It's about avoiding the pitfalls that can weaken your message and make your content fall flat. By steering clear of vague language, overhyping your promises, and focusing too much on your product, you can create hooks that genuinely resonate with your audience. Testing and refining your hooks is an ongoing process, but avoiding these common mistakes will help you create more impactful, engaging, and effective hooks every time. In the next chapter, we'll look at some of the most successful hooks used by brands, authors, and influencers, breaking down why they work and how you can apply these techniques to your own messaging. By examining real-world examples, you'll get practical insights into crafting hooks that grab attention and keep your audience coming back for more. Chapter 9: Real-World Examples of Effective Hooks. In this chapter, we'll examine real-world examples of hooks that have successfully captured the attention of audiences across various platforms and industries. These examples come from a range of mediums, including advertisements, books, social media, email campaigns, and presentations. By analyzing these hooks, we'll uncover why they work so well and how you can apply similar techniques to your own content. The Apple hook, simplicity and clarity. Apple is a master of creating clear, powerful hooks that resonate with their audience. One of the most famous examples is their marketing slogan, "Think different, why it works, simplicity and clarity." The hook is incredibly simple and easy to understand. In just 2 words, Apple is positioning itself as a brand for creative, forward-thinking individuals. The hook is straightforward but powerful, encapsulating the brand philosophy and appealing directly to its target audience. Emotional appeal. Think different taps into desire for individuality and innovation. It inspires people to see themselves as part of a movement, aligning Apple's product with a higher purpose of creativity and self-expression. Takeaway for your own hooks. Focus on delivering a simple message that resonates with your audience's values or desires. Keep it concise, but make sure it aligns with the larger message or mission of your brand or product. The Nike hook, action-oriented and empowering. Nike's iconic slogan, "Just do it," is another example of a successful hook that has been used for decades. It's simple, direct, and powerful. Why it works. Action-oriented. The phrase, "just do it," is a call to action. It doesn't just describe what Nike's products do. It challenges the audience to act. It speaks to the desire for achievement, motivation, and pushing past obstacles. Universal appeal. The hook is applicable to anyone, regardless of age, gender, or athletic ability. It's inclusive, empowering people to take action in any area of their lives, not just sports. This universality makes a hook that appeals to a wide audience. Takeaway: a strong hook should inspire action. Use language that calls the audience to engage, whether it's through physical action, emotional connection, or intellectual curiosity. The Coca-Cola hook, creating emotional connections. Coca-Cola's Open Happiness campaign is an excellent example of a hook that focuses on creating an emotional connection rather than just selling a product. Why it works. Emotional resonance. Open Happiness isn't just about the product. It's about the feeling that comes with it. Coca-Cola is positioning itself as a source of joy, a way to enhance life's small moments. This emotional appeal taps into universal desire for happiness and positivity. Simplicity and positive tone. The phrase is easy to understand and creates a positive, uplifting feeling. It invites people to associate the brand with good times, reinforcing Coca-Cola's image as a celebratory, feel-good product. Takeaway: in your hooks, focus on the emotional experience you want to create for your audience. People don't just buy products or services. They buy the feelings and experiences associated with them. Make sure your hook taps into these emotions. The TED Talks hook, curiosity and inspiration. TED Talks are known for their captivating and thought-provoking titles that pique the curiosity of the audience. A title like "Do Schools Kill Creativity?" by Sir Ken Robinson immediately grabs attention. Why it works. Curiosity-driven. The question, "Do schools kill creativity?" is thought-provoking and controversial. It immediately challenges a commonly held belief, sparking curiosity. People want to hear the answer to this intriguing question, which makes them more likely to watch the talk. Provoking thought. The hook does not provide an answer, but instead raises a profound question. This encourages the audience to engage with the content in a deeper way, stimulating critical thinking. Takeaway: ask questions in your hooks that challenge the status quo or provoke deep thinking. This technique taps into your audience's natural curiosity, compelling them to explore your content further to find out the answer or solution. The BuzzFeed hook, listicles, and immediate value. BuzzFeed is known for its attention-grabbing headlines, often using listicles to spark interest. A headline like 10 Things You Didn't Know About the Secret Lives of Cats immediately draws the reader in. Why it works. Immediate value. The phrase 10 things you didn't know promises new, exclusive information. It appeals to the audience's desire to learn something unexpected, which creates curiosity and a sense of discovery. Brevity and clarity. Listicles are appealing because they promise quick, digestible content. The hook clearly tells the reader what they'll get in exchange for their time. Takeaway. Use numbers or lists in your hooks to convey specific, easily digestible content. People like to know what they'll get and appreciate the ability to quickly scan and process information. Make sure to promise something new or surprising to capture interest. The Dollar Shave Club hook, humor and relatability. Dollar Shave Club's viral launch video famously used humor as a hook. Started with the line, "Do you like your razor?" "Yeah, you do." "What's not to like about your razor?" "Nothing, it's great." Why it works. Humor. Humor grabs attention by breaking through the noise with a lighthearted and entertaining approach. It makes the audience feel relaxed and more open to hearing what the brand has to say. Relatability. The humorous tone makes the brand feel approachable and relatable. It uses humor to address a common problem, expensive razors, in a fun, engaging way. The audience connects with the brand on a human level. Takeaway. Humor is a powerful tool in hooking your audience, especially when it's used to address a common problem or frustration. Make sure the humor aligns with your brand's voice and resonates with your target audience. The Slack hook, direct and problem solving. Slack's messaging is focused on solving a common workplace problem. Disorganized communication. Their tagline, "Be less busy," offers a simple but effective hook. Why it works. Problem solving. The hook directly addresses a pain point that many people in the workplace experience, feeling overwhelmed and busy. By offering a solution to this problem, Slack's hook makes the product feel essential and valuable. Simplicity and relevance. The message is clear and to the point. It's also highly relevant to Slack's target audience, people in business and teams who are looking for ways to streamline communication. Takeaway. Focus your hook on solving a specific problem that your audience faces. By providing a solution, you position your product or service as the answer to their needs, which makes the hook highly relevant and compelling. Conclusion. Looking at these successful hooks from brands, speakers, and media outlets, we can see that the most effective hooks are those that connect emotionally with the audience, promise something of value, and create a sense of curiosity or urgency. Whether it's through simplicity, humor, emotional appeal, or curiosity, the best hooks capture attention and compel the audience to engage further with your content. As you work to craft your own hooks, remember to consider your audience's needs and desires. Tailor your message to resonate with them, whether you're offering a solution, sparking curiosity, or creating an emotional connection. By drawing inspiration from these examples, you can begin to craft hooks that are not only attention-grabbing, but also deeply engaging and impactful. In the next chapter, we will look at how to turn your effective hooks into powerful calls to action. You've captured your audience's attention. Now it's time to guide them to take the next step. Chapter 10. Turning hooks into calls to action. A hook is the first step in engaging your audience, but it's only the beginning. The ultimate goal of any hook is to lead your audience to take action. This could be anything from clicking a link, purchasing a product, signing up for a newsletter, or even just sharing your content. In this chapter, we'll dive into how to turn the attention you've captured with your hook into meaningful action with a strong call to action, CTA. The role of a call to action, CTA. A call to action is a prompt that encourages your audience to take a specific, desired action. It's the logical next step after you've captured their attention with a hook. A good CTA is clear, compelling, and aligned with the audience's needs, desires, and the content of your hook. Without a CTA, a great hook can fall flat. The audience might be intrigued, but they won't know what to do next. For example, Imagine an email subject line that reads, "Unlock your full potential with these simple hacks." This hook grabs attention, but without a CTA, the recipient may not know how to act on it. But if the email ends with "Start your journey now," click here to get started. It gives a reader a clear direction and encourages them to take the next step. Why CTAs are important. Direction. A CTA tells the audience what to do next. Whether it's to buy a product, learn more, or sign up for an offer, it provides clear guidance. Action. A CTA makes it more likely that the audience will take action, increasing conversions and engagement. Relevance. A CTA should be directly related to the promise made by the hook. It should feel like a natural next step in the journey. Creating a strong CTA. Clarity and action. Just like your hook, your CTA needs to be clear and specific. If your CTA is vague, the audience won't know what to do or may be hesitant to take action. Use actionable, direct language that clearly defines the next step. Here are some examples of weak CTAs and how to improve them. Weak CTA. Click here. Improvement. Get your free guide now. Why it's better. Get your free guide now is specific, action-oriented, and gives a sense of urgency, encouraging immediate action. Weak CTA. Learn more. Improvement. Discover how this can change your life today. Why it's better. The second CTA is more compelling and directly appeals to the audience's desire for transformation. It also has an element of urgency. Today, in crafting your CTA, use words that prompt immediate action and tie into the emotions or motivations you build up through the hook. The goal is to guide your audience seamlessly to the next step and make it as easy as possible for them to act. Making your CTA irresistible, urgency and value. To make your CTA even more compelling, add a sense of urgency or scarcity. When people feel they might miss out on something valuable, they are more likely to take action. Urgency taps into the fear of missing out, FOMO, which is a powerful psychological motivator. Examples of effective urgency-driven CTAs. Act now to get 50% off, limited time offer. Only 3 spots left. Sign up before they're gone. Hurry, the sale ends at midnight. Urgency works because it triggers a sense of time sensitivity. It forces the audience to make a decision before the opportunity disappears. Additionally, make sure your CTA offers something valuable. The audience should understand what they're getting by taking action, whether it's a product, service, information, or even just entertainment. A valuable offer increases the likelihood of a positive response. Examples of value-driven CTAs. Download our free ebook and get the latest industry tips. Join now and receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. Start your free trial today and see immediate results. Positioning your CTA for maximum impact. The placement of your CTA is crucial to its effectiveness. A well-placed CTA makes it easy for the audience to act on their interest. If your CTA is buried at the bottom of a page or hidden in the middle of a post, it's less likely to get noticed or clicked. Here are some strategic tips for positioning your CTA. At the end of the hook, right after your hook, is a prime opportunity for your CTA. After you've captured your audience's attention, guide them seamlessly to the next step. This works especially well in blog posts, videos, or sales pages where you have already built a foundation of interest. Above the fold. In email campaigns or on websites, place your CTA above the fold, the visible part of the screen before scrolling, so it's one of the first things your audience sees. This makes it more likely they'll take action immediately, without having to search for it. Multiple placements. Don't be afraid to repeat your CTA. In longer pieces of content, such as blog posts or videos, you can include the CTA both at the beginning and at the end. The first CTA gets the audience thinking about it, and the second CTA gives them the opportunity to act once they consume the content. Pop-ups or sticky buttons. On websites, pop-up CTAs or sticky buttons that follow users as they scroll can be highly effective. These types of CTAs remind the audience to take action without requiring them to move to the end of a page. Tailoring your CTA to the context. The context of your hook will influence the type of CTA you use. For example, a hook aimed at generating leads will require a different CTA than a hook aimed at making a sale. Here are a few different types of CTAs depending on the context. For blog posts and articles, subscribe to our newsletter for more tips. Download the full guide here. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. For social media posts, tag a friend who needs to see this. Follow us for daily updates on all things fitness. Click the link in bio to shop now. For e-commerce or product pages, add to cart and check out now. Claim your discount before it's too late. Buy now and get free shipping. For lead generation, download your free copy today. Get started with a free consultation. Sign up now for exclusive updates. By aligning your CTA with the context, you ensure that the next step feels natural and relevant to the audience. Testing and optimizing your CTAs. Just like your hooks, your CTAs need to be tested and optimized to ensure they're working at their best. Here are a few methods for testing the effectiveness of your CTAs. A/B testing. Run tests on different versions of your CTA to see which one performs better. Try changing the wording, urgency, or placement of your CTA to determine which version gets the most clicks. Track metrics. Use analytics to track key metrics, such as click-through rate, CTR, conversion rate, and engagement. These metrics help you assess the performance of your CTA and understand where improvements can be made. User feedback. Pay attention to user behavior. If your CTA isn't generating the expected results, consider gathering feedback or conducting surveys to understand why your audience isn't taking action. Using CTAs in different formats. CTAs are used in different ways depending on the format and platform. Let's break down a few formats and their ideal CTAs. Videos. A good video CTA might come at the end or be embedded within the content itself. For example, subscribe for more videos like this or click the link in the description to download your free guide. Email. Your CTA in an email should be placed near the top and bottom of the message for easy access. A CTA like claim your offer now or join the community today encourages immediate engagement. Websites and landing pages. Your CTA should be prominent, often placed in multiple spots on the page, e.g., after the introduction, midway through the content, and at the bottom. Examples include start your free trial or book your free consultation. Conclusion. Turning your hook into a powerful call to action is an essential part of crafting effective content. A great hook grabs attention, but the CTA drive the audience to take meaningful steps. Whether you're guiding them to make a purchase, subscribe to your newsletter, or simply engage with your content, your CTA should be clear, actionable, and relevant to the audience's needs. By testing your CTAs, optimizing their placement, and ensuring they align with your content's message, you can significantly increase your conversions and engagement. Remember, your CTA is a culmination of all the work you've done in grabbing attention and providing value, so make sure it's compelling enough to encourage your audience to act. In the final chapter, we'll wrap up with some tips for continuously refining your approach to hooks and CTAs to keep your content fresh and engaging over time. Chapter 11, continuously refining your approach to hooks and CTAs. Now that we've covered the essentials of crafting hooks, building effective calls to action CTAs, and using both in various content formats, it's time to look at how to continuously refine your approach to ensure long-term success. The key to mastering hooks and CTAs is not just to get things right once, but to keep testing, adapting, and improving your strategies to stay relevant and engaging for your audience. In this final chapter, we'll discuss how to assess your performance, make necessary adjustments, and fine-tune your content to optimize your hooks and CTAs over time. Continuous refinement is a crucial part of any content strategy, and by following these steps, you can ensure your audience remains engaged and your content continues to deliver results. Track and analyze your results. The first step in refining your hooks and CTAs is to track their performance. Without data, you won't know if your hooks are resonating with your audience or if your CTAs are effectively driving conversions. Key metrics to track. Click-through rate. CTR, this measures how many people clicked on your CTA after seeing it. A higher CTR indicates that your audience is engaging with your content and taking action. Conversion rate. This tracks how many people completed the desired action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or downloading a resource. This is the ultimate metric to assess the effectiveness of your CTAs. Bounce rate. If people click on your content and then immediately leave, it could indicate that your hook or CTA isn't capturing the right audience, or that the content doesn't live up to its promise. Engagement rate. For social media posts, the engagement rate, likes, shares, comments, can help you gauge how well your hook is resonating with your audience. A post with high engagement means your hook is intriguing and has successfully sparked interest. Time on page. In blog posts or landing pages, the amount of time users spend on the page can indicate whether the hook was compelling enough to encourage further reading or exploration. Tools for tracking performance. Use tools like Google Analytics, email marketing platforms like MailChimp or HubSpot, and social media analytics tools like Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, or Instagram Insights to monitor these metrics and gain insights into your audience's behavior. By regularly tracking these metrics, you'll be able to identify trends and patterns. For example, if you notice that your CTAs and emails are underperforming, you might need to revisit the language, timing, or placement of your calls to action. This data-driven approach allows you to continually refine your strategy based on actual audience behavior. A/B testing and iteration. One of the most effective ways to refine your hooks and CTAs is through A/B testing. A/B testing involves creating two variations of a hook or CTA, version A and version B, and testing them against each other to see which one performs better. How to A/B test your hooks and CTAs. Test one element at a time. To accurately measure the impact of a change, focus on one element at a time. For example, you can test two different hook phrases, such as how to get rich in 30 days versus the fastest way to build wealth. Or you can test two different CTAs, like sign up now versus join our free community today. Use data to inform decisions. Once you've tested the variations, compare the performance of each. If one hook or CTA leads to higher conversions or engagement, then that's your winner. Use this information to inform future content creation and optimization. Test in multiple contexts. A/B testing isn't just for emails or landing pages. You can apply across various content formats, including blog posts, social media ads, videos, and even presentations. Testing in different contexts helps you understand how your audience responds to different hooks depending on the medium. Why A/B testing matters. A/B testing allows you to iterate on your hooks and CTAs over time. What works for one audience today may not be as effective in 6 months. By continually testing, you can refine your approach and ensure your hooks and CTAs remain fresh, engaging, and effective. Pay attention to audience feedback. One of the most valuable forms of insight comes from your audience itself. Whether it's through surveys, comments, social media feedback, or direct messages, audience feedback can help you understand how your hooks and CTAs are being received. How to gather audience feedback. Surveys and polls. Use surveys or polls to ask your audience what they think about your content, including the hook and the CTA. For example, you could ask questions like, was the hook interesting enough to make you continue reading? Or what action do you think we should have offered next? Social media engagement. Monitor the comments on your social media posts or videos to see how people react to your hooks. If many people ask the same question or express confusion, it could indicate that the hook or CTA isn't as clear as it could be. Direct interactions. Don't hesitate to reach out to your most loyal followers or customers to ask for their opinion. Personal conversations can provide invaluable insights into how your hooks and CTAs resonate. Experiment with new ideas. Over time, it's easy to fall into a pattern of using the same types of hooks and CTAs. While consistency can be beneficial, it's important to keep experimenting with new ideas to keep your content fresh and engaging. Ways to experiment. Try different types of hooks. Experiment with different hook types, questions, shocking statements, promises, etc., to see what works best for your audience. For example, if your current hooks are question-based, try switching to a promise-based hook and see how it affects engagement. Change up your CTA language. If you typically use phrases like sign up today, try more urgent CTAs like limited spots available, claim yours now. Or experiment with softer CTAs like learn more or get started at your own pace. Test different formats. Don't be afraid to try new formats for your hooks and CTAs. For example, if you're primarily using text-based hooks, try incorporating video or infographics to grab attention in a different way. By experimenting with new ideas and approaches, you can discover what resonates best with your audience and keep them engaged with your content over time. Stay current with trends and language changes. The language and trends around content creation are constantly evolving. New phrases, memes, and cultural references pop up regularly, and what was relevant 6 months ago might be out of touch now. It's important to stay current and update your hooks and CTAs to reflect the language and concerns of your audience. How to stay current. Follow industry trends. Stay on top of changes in your industry by following influencers, reading relevant blogs, and subscribing to news sources. This helps you incorporate current trends and language into your hooks and CTAs. Monitor social media. Social media platforms are great for spotting trending topics and popular phrases. By staying active on these platforms, you can quickly spot emerging trends and use them in your content. Engage with your audience. Pay attention to the language your audience is using. Their comments, posts, and conversations can provide valuable clues as to how you should phrase your hooks and CTAs. Refine your approach based on long-term data. Finally, refining your approach to hooks and CTAs is a long-term process. It's not about making changes based on one test or one piece of feedback. It's about evaluating performance over time and making incremental improvements. Over months or years, you'll develop a better understanding of your audience's preferences, motivations, and behaviors. Look at your long-term data, such as conversion trends, audience growth, and engagement metrics, to see how your hooks and CTAs are evolving. This will give you a clearer picture of what's working and what needs improvement. Long-term refinement allows you to build a more effective and sustainable content strategy that continues to engage and convert your audience. Conclusion: the journey of continuous improvement. Mastering the art of hooks and CTAs is an ongoing process that requires continuous testing, feedback, and refinement. By tracking your results, experimenting with new ideas, gathering audience feedback, and staying current with trends, you can continually optimize your content to better capture attention and drive meaningful action. Remember, the most successful content creators, marketers, and brands are those who keep evolving and improving their approach. By following the principles outlined in this book and dedicating yourself to ongoing optimization, you can ensure your hooks and CTAs remain effective, engaging, and aligned with your audience's needs. Now that you have the tools to craft powerful hooks and CTAs, it's time to put them into action and start seeing the results. Good luck on your journey to mastering the art of compelling content.